Hi, everyone. Mary here. Welcome to episode 7 of Keto Coach. Let's talk about real food. This week, I want to talk about the difference between real food and what I call frankenfood, and the difference between clean keto and what I call dirty keto. Let me start by saying that this is not designed to make anyone feel bad or make anyone feel like they're doing something wrong. We all, of this journey, we are all taking this journey, at our own pace, and most of us, evolve. Like, I don't think any of us are doing keto the way we were doing it on day one. So it doesn't matter if you're on day one or day 100. Hopefully there'll be something in this episode that can help you, or maybe it'll give you something to think about. A lot of times online, especially in our ketogenic success group, there'll be, people posting pictures of products wanting to know, hey, is this okay? And a lot of times it's not okay if you're just following general guidelines. So let's talk about that first. Keto, clean keto, and keto in general, basically, again, we all know the definition. It's a very low carb, moderate protein, and high fat. And it's no sugar, it's no wheat, no grains. Keto is an anti-inflammatory diet, and wheat/grains are inflammatory, so it stands to reason that they are not part of a ketogenic diet. They're also notorious for spiking blood sugar, so there is no place for it. Okay, so there's real food, which is vegetables, obviously, all the meats and everything that we eat, full fat cheese, nuts, nut flours, coconut flour, almond flour would be considered real food. Eggs, basically, if it was once alive, or came, from a farm, or off out of the ground, then it's good for, good to eat, except for the grains that come out of the ground, obviously. But so meat and cheese and vegetables, that's all real food. Not real food would be and things, I refer to a lot of these types of things as frankenfood, would be things like the Quest bars. Those have soluble corn fiber. And I know a lot of people use them like for a quick, on the go meal or a snack or something, but there are much better choices than that. Atkins bars, Atkins shakes, those things don't really fall into the category of real food. Some other things, while they're not totally frankenfood, but they may have fillers and hidden sugars, are, processed meats like hot dogs, the frozen meats. It's always better to buy fresh meat than frozen meats. A lot of times frozen meats have fillers in them, and you'll see that, on the package, 1 or 2 carbs per serving. Well, where are those coming from? It's coming from, things that they're putting in the meat. Also, like a lot of times sausage comes with fillers or has added sugar in it. So I consider all those kinds of things frankenfood, not real food. Now, I'm not picking on anybody who eats these things. Like, I ate stuff like that in the beginning. I ate Atkins bars and shakes every day for like the first several months because they were a crutch for me. And I didn't think at that time that I really could go through life without dessert. So these were, something that was legal and allowed, and I did it. And eventually, when I gave them up, Mr. Keto Evangelist, Brian, harassed me for months about eating them. And I finally gave in and said, okay, fine, I'll stop eating them. And you know what happened? The last month that I was still eating them, I had lost 4 pounds that month. Then the next month, my first 30 days without them, I lost 8 pounds. So I'm convinced we're holding me back. So that's one thing to think about. But basically, the reason that I don't do what's called dirty keto and eat these things, I don't do sugar-free Jello. That's also, something I consider a frankenfood. Those sugar-free candies, all of them, they're just not healthy. And so I'm not in keto just because I wanted the weight loss. I want the health benefits too. And so if I'm going to be honest, in order to have optimal health, I really shouldn't, I really shouldn't eat those products. But again, we're all adults. We can eat whatever we want. I just choose not to. And you can choose to do the sugar-free candies if you want, but do it knowing that it isn't the best option. It could be holding you back. It could cause you cravings. It could be contributing to not being able to get your blood sugar under control. There's all these other, factors. So for me, the bottom line is I just want optimum health. I want to stay off meds. I want to not eat things that could, cause me to crave or cause my blood sugar to go up. And things, these sugar-free candies and things like that they have maltitol, a lot of them, which is like one of the most evil sugar alcohols. It can really cause you some stomach distress. And I always joke that maltitol is, it's disaster pants basically. So don't be too far from home if you partake in products that have maltitol. Anyway, so basically it's better. We have, what is that saying? Good, better, best. Well, best keto is real food. If you're including sugar-free Jellos and, diet sodas, things like that, that's good. That's better than the real stuff. But best would be to eliminate those things and just stick with real food. Okay, so not too long this week, just a quick little lesson, I suppose, in the difference between real food and the frankenfood and why you would want to just stick with real food. You want to stick with real food for optimal health. And, and it's not to say that, I'm not saying that I would never have something that I would consider, frankenfood. I'm not, doing perfect keto here, and none of us can do anything perfectly. Every once in a blue moon, I go to Starbucks and I get, 2 pumps of the sugar-free, chocolate syrup, which is sucralose, which is Splenda. Splenda's the brand name for sucralose. So, I'm not saying you don't have to ever not, have these things, but just once in a while. It shouldn't be like a regular thing. It should definitely not be a daily thing, and not even a weekly thing. I don't even do it once a month. It's like every few months. If I go to the, Starbucks drive-through, then I'm going to get the 2 pumps of the sugar-free syrup. So, just make sure that you're making the best choices possible under, the best circumstances. I know a lot of people rely on these things for snacks, and I don't want to get into the topic of snacks, but I don't snack, and I think it's really unnecessary. I think most people are snacking out of habit, not because they're really truly hungry. So a lot of these types of frankenfood stuff are snack foods. They're not even, they're not something you would have in a meal. But that's for another topic down the road. All right, so I hope you all have a great keto week, and I'll see you next week for episode 8.